Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I thought I'd sit down and do another video for you guys. Let me get a sip of my water first. Radio voice going. Give you guys a forearm shot. Let's talk about these 52 sets. Okay, I have a ton of people asking me about this. It's in my comments on my different platforms. You guys can see the questions yourself. People are like, Alan Thrall is talking about 52 sets of muscle group. Dr. Mike is talking about studies of 52 sets of muscle group. Menno Handsome is talking about 52 sets of muscle group studies. What's your take on it? I think it's insane. I think it's ludicrous. And here's the problem with it. We have data for years on this. We have anecdote for years and years on this. But until even a few years ago, even Mike was saying, yeah, the bulk of the research, even my writings have said, 10 to 20 high quality sets should produce robust muscle growth, should be close to maximum, should be about ideal. But then he talks about cycling it complexly and then going up above it and then coming back down, all this stuff. He's promoted that. Menno debunked a lot of that. Menno literally debunked the Schoenfeld study, the big one that people were using to promote these crazy volumes. He debunked. Now he's talking about, well, there's a study showing 52 sets. It's like, quit flip-flopping. You literally debunked the data. All of you guys know that this is trendy crap because of Schoenfeld. You know this. This is trending in the evidence-based fitness community. Where in the history of the world has anyone ever struggled to maximize muscle growth on, say, 15 to 20 sets as near the top end? I'm not saying champions haven't done more, but a lot of those champions got beat by people doing 15, 16, 20. They got beat by them, and those guys were bigger and more jacked and everything else and more ripped in various stuff. It's never been a requirement. So then they want to say, well, even though all these champions, both before gear was a big deal and in the gear world, everything else, all these champions have successfully done this. And I want to be clear. What is it that everyone points out, even in the evidence-based world, with natural versus enhanced lifters? That enhanced lifters can handle higher workloads, benefit from higher workloads. See the problem here? Yet plenty of even the enhanced guys have won while doing, 15, 16, 18, 20 sets of muscle. Haven't they? And they were oftentimes the biggest guys of their era. They're sometimes the biggest guys on that bodybuilding stage. Some of the biggest guys at the powerlifting meet. Why hasn't this come out in the real world before? Why have people successfully done this? The anecdote has shown that, yes, some people have done a lot more, but they weren't any bigger or more jacked than the people who didn't. They were not necessarily more jacked. And I'm not saying there might not be some small benefits. Maybe going from 20 sets to 40 might produce a tiny amount more muscle growth. It's not been enough for people to observe with previous research. It's not been enough for people to observe in the real world or for it to create an advantage to where they always ended up doing better, but they didn't. Why then is it a discussion? I mean, do people really want to live in the gym? I mean, no offense intended to the people out there listening, but do people even have the time for this, the recovery for this? Because the thing to think about from a practicality perspective, are you really going to live in the gym? I mean, I would be the first on board. Like, look, if people showed, well, there's no risk of overuse because overuse injuries sets you back massively. Overuse is what the literature says seems to be the leading cause of injuries. So it's pretty high on the list, particularly when bad form and ego lifting are in the mix. So that's a recipe for disaster. Overuse, okay, that's a concern. So if that went away and it was definitive data, I mean, because technically I make my living in this, I'd be the first to say, yeah, I'm going to go crank out these sort of workloads. But you know what? I'm sore today. from my chest workout yesterday. My pecs are sore. I did 5 really hard sets of pause benching with a wide grip for high reps. And I did some tricep extensions with a pullover effect. So that created some extra chest work. I train chest twice a week. I'm pretty sore from that. I mean, even Mike has said, well, I always believe that soreness is, for a day or so is an indication that you're right about on track for perfect volumes. But, if you're getting too sore, you might need less. But if you're getting sore, it's usually a good indicator that your volume and you're getting a good pump. Well, I mean, using Mike's own words, who's discussing this, my chest volume is optimal right now. I got a really, really, really good pump. And I'm actually sore the next day. And I don't even get sore that often. I rarely get sore, but I'm noting today I'm sore. Man, I just hit the right angles and the right volume and the intensity on that. My triceps are a little sore too from it. I got a little bit of soreness happening. Okay. So, again, who in the world needs this? And again, do people really want to spend that much time? What are we talking about? You start talking about, and why 52? You have one study that suggested for lower body that these 52 sets, over 20 sets, because you have one study with 52, that then it's automatically people are bringing up 52 sets from a single study. Because that happens to be the number the researchers chose for that one block of training. If they had chosen 48 or 57, would the number everyone would be throwing out? Again, let's talk about science. You take one study with an arbitrary number like 52 sets, and it showed in some of the analysis a slightly better benefit over 20 sets or whatever, right? So now 52 is the magical evidence-based number. Are you guys kidding me? Are you kidding? Are you listening to yourselves? And then the people eating it up, they're saying 52, I got to do 52 sets. Again, when in the history of lifting has anyone ever struggled, unless their diet or recovery or something else was out of balance, when has anyone ever struggled to make really good gains or near the maximum gains that their lifestyle will accommodate off of 15, 16, maybe 20 sets? Like is the upper threshold. When has this ever been a problem? And is anyone out there listening to this, or even Mike and Minnow and Alan and these other people saying this, do you guys honestly think that that's going to be the secret to gains? Is that what you're telling people? You're stalled. Maybe you need 52 sets. And the people listening, do you really think this is useful to apply to you? If you've already been doing 20 sets a week and you're not growing, do you really think that doing the magical number, the 52 sets, there's some sort of magical numerology happening here? Some quantum physics involved. 52, that's the same number of weeks that are in a year. Is this a coincidence? Is this a divine number from the gods? Do you think this 52 sets is going to be your solution? Or do you think maybe your piss poor training and your piss poor nutrition and your piss poor stress management's the problem? I think maybe that's it. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time. Let's sip of my water.